Now, the fool which turns into a stopwatch which manipulates the environment is no longer important here, but I thought I'd just point that out one last time. Izam.
The fools you see in this world are invincible, but that does not mean they shouldn't be attacked.
Sounds alright to me.
Doing a fine job of explaining what I am feeling too difficult to do. Now, this is a series of so far apart whirlwinds that charging is not actually a viable strategy. They lead us back to the very beginning platform of the Dreamweaver's world, which starts this whole dreadful process over again. If we were to return through the hallway, we'll understand that we cannot actually reach the platform we came from, so we are trapped here. With a checkpoint on this platform, the only escape is to load the game, which sort of is counterintuitive, or get a game over, which will start us on the other platform over there. Both very avoidable circumstances, but let's get started. I've got 10 lives to burn. Excuse me, 10 remaining lives to burn. And sparing no expense, we're actually going to jump ahead a bit because we haven't got all day. Dreams only last, what, 2 to 3 seconds on average. These are the slap-happy armored monks that were in our way before. They give 10 gems apiece, and they block the staircase. Quote-unquote blocked. We could have jumped over them with a bit of fancy jumping and editing. But they were guarding the upper level of the lofty castle. The lofty castle placed on the ground floor, strangely enough. And we see another mechanic that's going to be making a much more annoying presence in the next level. These are the clockwork fools. If we flame them both, then the second platform will rise. If we flame only one or the other, the first platform will rise. We're supposed to use one, then the second one, then jump from the first to the second one. But because the second platform raises after, you can just get on there before it raises. Anyway, the reason they were guarding this is because there was a firework, and the quote-unquote hidden flight level of the Dreamweaver's world, Icy Flight, again does not pertain to the theme of the overall world, unless you dream about ice. Or you dream in the nighttime, and Icy Flight is in the nighttime, but it's not the only flight level that's in the nighttime, so that's really a cheap way out of it. Now, from here, we could actually jump to the balloonist, but we've actually got more things to contend with in a different route. The things we have to contend with are also on the same route, but this way has a more interesting way of getting to it, and it's also less deadly. 3 last gems, 1 last box with 1 last 5 gems, and 1 last staircase with 3 last red gems, leading to the boss of the Dreamweaver's world, Jacques. Not pronounced Jacques, as your childhood self may believe. Jacques. The only level in Spyro the Dragon to receive a 5-star difficulty rating in the official strategy guide of Spyro the Dragon. Not even Gnasty Gnorc can contend with the very hard ranking of difficulty this level received. It houses 2 new areas of enemies, 2 new enemies types, and addition to that boss, which is foreshadowed dead ahead in the Clockwork Fool. First up, we have the Pansies, also known as the Giant Pansies, a nightmarish blob of goo which actually has feet underneath it, which carries a pansy. Too large to be charged, only can be flamed. We also have the armor-plated nightmares. aka the armor-plated terrors, which have very terrifying face and very familiar sounding attack noise. They can only be charged, not flamed. So in this level we have to find the clockwork fools, harm them, and ride their platforms up in order to access more of the level. And that's pretty much all we're going to do until we reach the boss. That and die very many times from the difficulty of the level. The armor or non-armored pansies do not actually pose much of a threat when they are on these platforms because they cannot wiggle or waggle or move at all. They just sit there until we flame them. And sometimes they're giant jerks and leave their gems on platforms where they cannot be collected. There we go. Also, pits of cheese sauce, depending on your complexity of your nightmares. That may be lava. More clockwork fools, slightly out of range. I really don't want to leave the platform because that requires effort. And he likes to hide behind objects, which is some of the smartest AI actually in the game. Of course, he could just run away or kill himself and I'd be boned. Instead, slightly more pansies, being slightly less of jerks. Over there we can see the other half of the fork of the level, which we are not going to be going through for quite some time, because we have more difficulty to contend with, not including missing gems and clockwork fools. And we've already reached, sad to say, this is almost to the boss fight. We've pretty much got the entire level beaten. Very hard level. I guess relative terms, this could be considered the hardest level of the game. Armor terrors, also non-threatening when placed on precarious platforms positioned by precipices, because they can be charged in pretty much one fell swoop. And since we are traveling backwards through the alternate path, we can make these jumps without even trying, basically. Also, we can collect this key by harming both of the clockwork fools at the same time and climbing the spire they create. Normally we would have to glide over here. I don't see why, but that's how the thing goes. If we flame just one of these, or accidentally flame both at exactly the same time, we can hear their sound effects in synchronicity. Even though only one of them actually rang, but they both got up. I did not get a checkpoint, but it's okay because I needed to be on this side of the platform anyway. I was actually going to try to jump here. Trust me, trust me. Clockwork Fool, if you would just stand still for 1 second, you can actually show that I was not lying. This is where the other side of this platform led. Now you'll see, back from the home world outside the Haunted Towers, there was a pillar quite like this one, but we don't have a fool here to activate it. Don't worry about that. It's the only puzzle of the level, and it's actually probably the hardest thing, which leads to the second hardest thing in the level. But again, ignore that. There is a clockwork fool right around this corner, which doesn't appear to actually activate anything. The reason it's the hardest thing is because you have to activate that fool, and then this fool, and then make it appear before the first fool gives out, and you can make it onto this thing, and glide to the second dragon of the level, and the hardest section of the level. But gliding, you understand. Instead, we will attempt to make it across this gap, collect the gem I missed before, and I don't think I can actually, even if I do flame both of these fools, make it across this gap here. So, cross the gap, and actually use the key. Another first in the Dreamweaver's world, strangely in the boss world, and get quite a number of gems. Now if we take these steps very slowly, we can actually collect these 3, 4, 5, oh god, I didn't go slow enough. I think this gem will be lost forever. Oh wait, I'm not doing the jumpless challenge anymore. Oh man, I have egg on my face. This all could have been made a lot easier. Oliver. Hey, Oliver!
Advice before this battle?
Advice. A wise dragon once told me, aim high in life, but watch out for flying boxes.
Huh?
Enigmatic boss hints aside, an entire video series of reading names backwards came to fruition. There was one named Oliver backwards. I'm not sure if it was a reference to anything or a complete accident, but Oliver. Sorry to steal your thunder there, but this is Jacques. Jacques in the box. I know. He cannot actually be harmed. If you'll notice, he just runs away from us and sometimes throws party boxes at us, which can be charged and are at that point no longer harmful. If we flame him, he will run away, not actually take damage or drop gems, unlike every other boss so far. But while I'm over here, I am safe to explain that he operates much like a fool in that when he is damaged, quote-unquote, hit by one of my attacks, something good will happen, like this platform being raised. But you can see that that's a whirlwind, and that's a large distance being covered by lava, and we can't actually finish the boss, which is a shame because the world exit portal is right up there on the other end of another whirlwind, which would require gliding. But it's a shame because Jacques drops 4 purple gems, and surrounding the home world return home portal is 3 more purple gems, and that is 175 gems I have to miss just because I have principles. Luckily, he didn't have a good cutscene or anything interesting to display rather than exploding into gems, so you're not missing much. And with that, we've actually... One second. And with that, we've actually removed everything of any collectible without glide ability interests in the Dreamweaver's world. Including everything in the homeworld. And with that, we are actually pretty much obligated to approach the balloonist for one last time. See what he's got for us this time. Amos. Thanks for the heads up, Amos. On to Nasty's world. Ganasty.